most people get this wrong the moment they hear Vatican City. They assume it works like a normal country where you can register a company online and start operating. But here's the truth no one tells you. Vatican City is not a commercial business jurisdiction in the traditional sense at all. And that changes everything. So before you even think about forms, fees, or company structures, you need to understand what Vatican City actually is from a legal and economic perspective. Because if you skip this, everything else will confuse you. Now here's the reality. Vatican City is the smallest independent state in the world, and its economy is not designed for private entrepreneurship. It is primarily a religious sovereign entity. That means it does not function like countries such as Estonia, Cyprus, or Malta, where company incorporation is open to global entrepreneurs. And this is where most confusion begins. People search how to start a company in Vatican City, expecting a step-by-step business formation system. But Vatican City does not operate a public company registry for private commercial enterprises in the way normal jurisdictions do. Now here's where it gets interesting. While you cannot simply register a private company in Vatican City as a foreign entrepreneur, there are still limited economic structures and affiliated entities that operate under Vatican governance or within its legal ecosystem. And in a minute, I'll explain exactly what those structures are, and what realistic alternatives exist, if your goal is business activity connected to Vatican City or the Holy See system. But first, let's break down the most important distinction. Vatican City and the Holy See are not the same thing. Vatican City is a physical territory. The Holy See is the sovereign governing entity of the Catholic Church that conducts international relations and manages institutional operations. Now here's the key point. Most financial and administrative operations associated with Vatican governance are handled through institutional entities, not private companies formed by external entrepreneurs. So if your intention is to start a private business like an e-commerce store, a consulting agency, or a holding company, Vatican City is not a direct option. But don't click away yet, because there is still valuable information here, especially if you are researching niche jurisdictions or high-level institutional structures. Now let's talk about what actually exists. Instead of private companies, Vatican-related economic activity is managed through internal administrative bodies, foundations, and financial institutions that support religious, cultural, and operational functions. These entities are not open to general public incorporation. They are controlled internally and serve specific institutional purposes. Now here's a curiosity loop for you. In a minute, I will show you what legal alternatives entrepreneurs typically use when they mistakenly target restricted jurisdictions like Vatican City, and how they structure compliant international setups instead. But first, let's clarify something very important. Can a foreigner start a company in Vatican City? The direct answer is no. There is no standard legal framework for foreign-owned private company incorporation inside Vatican City. Employment and operational roles within Vatican City are highly restricted and usually connected to ecclesiastical or administrative functions tied to the Holy See. Now here's where most people misunderstand things. They think small size equals open business access. But in reality, Vatican City is one of the most restricted jurisdictions in the world in terms of commercial activity. Now let's make this practical. If you cannot start a company in Vatican City, what can you do instead if you are trying to build an international structure? This is where strategy becomes important. Most entrepreneurs who initially look at restricted microjurisdictions end up using a combination of European company structures that are legally accessible, tax compliant, and globally recognized. For example, jurisdictions like Estonia, Ireland, Cyprus, Malta, or Luxembourg are commonly used for international operations depending on business type. Now here's where it gets interesting. The goal is not to force incorporation in restricted territories. The goal is to build compliant structures that achieve tax efficiency, legal stability, and operational flexibility. Now let's go deeper into why Vatican City is often misunderstood in business discussions. Because unlike commercial jurisdictions, Vatican City's economy is built around institutional funding, donations, and internal administrative budgets, rather than market-driven entrepreneurship. This means there is no public company formation system, no standard corporate registry, and no open foreign investment pathway. Now here's a real-world example to make this clear. Imagine Alex, an entrepreneur from India, hears about Vatican City and thinks it might be a low-tax environment for his consulting business. He starts researching company registration, but he quickly discovers there is no legal pathway to incorporate. So instead, he shifts strategy. He sets up a company in a compliant e-jurisdiction, like Estonia or Cyprus, and structures his operations legally while serving international clients. This is the real-world approach professionals use. Now, let's talk about legal structures connected indirectly to Vatican governance. While private companies cannot be registered in Vatican City, there are financial institutions like the Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion. But this is not a commercial bank for public business formation. It serves internal institutional financial management. Now here's the key takeaway. These structures are not entry points for entrepreneurs. They are internal governance tools. Now, let's shift into something useful for you. Because even though you cannot start a company in Vatican City, understanding why helps you avoid one of the biggest mistakes in international business structuring. That mistake is targeting non-viable jurisdictions without understanding legal access limitations. Now here's where it gets practical again. If your goal is international business expansion, you should focus on 3 factors instead of niche microstates like Vatican City. First is legal accessibility. Can foreigners actually incorporate? Second is tax structure. Is it predictable and compliant? Third is banking access. Can you open and maintain operational accounts? Now here's a retention moment. In a minute, I will show you how experienced entrepreneurs design multi-jurisdiction structures that achieve global efficiency without relying on restricted territories. But first, let's finish the Vatican City reality check. There is no company registration portal. There is no commercial incorporation process. There is no standard business license system for private entrepreneurs. And that is intentional. Vatican City is not designed as a commercial hub. Now let's talk about what happens if someone tries to force it. They usually waste time, run into misinformation, or get exposed to unregulated intermediaries claiming to offer Vatican company setups. These are not legitimate pathways. Now, here's the key warning. Any service claiming to register a private company in Vatican City for external entrepreneurs should be treated with extreme caution. Because legally, that structure does not exist. Now let's move into what actually works globally. If your goal is a tax-efficient, internationally recognized business, you typically build a structure using one primary operating company, one holding company, and one banking jurisdiction, aligned with your business model. For example, your operating company might be in Estonia for digital services. Your holding structure might be in Cyprus or Malta. Your banking might be in Switzerland or the EU depending on compliance profile. Now here's where it gets interesting. This structure is fully legal, scalable, and widely used by international entrepreneurs who operate across borders. And it is far more powerful than trying to access restricted jurisdictions. Now let's bring this back to clarity. Vatican City is not a business incorporation jurisdiction. It is a sovereign religious state with internal administrative economic systems only. So there is no step-by-step company formation process, because the process simply does not exist for private entrepreneurs. But here are the key lessons you should take away. Always verify legal accessibility before planning incorporation. Always understand the difference between sovereign institutions and commercial jurisdictions. And always prioritize compliance over theoretical tax advantages. Now let's summarize everything clearly. You cannot start a private company in Vatican City. There's no incorporation system for foreign entrepreneurs. Economic activity is limited to internal institutional structures under the Holy See. Any business planning involving Vatican City should focus instead on alternative compliant European jurisdictions. And the most important insight is this. Smart international entrepreneurs do not chase impossible jurisdictions. They build structured, legal, scalable systems that work across borders. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe. In upcoming videos, I will break down real-world company formation strategies across accessible European jurisdictions that entrepreneurs actually use in 2026.